Our Voice, celebrating the Coretta Scott King Illustrator Awards, features original artwork from 101 award and honor-winning titles by 34 African American authors and illustrators. Awarded annually by the American Library Association for books about the African American experience, the Coretta Scott King Book Awards celebrate African American life and culture. The award commemorates the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and honor his wife, Mrs. Coretta Scott King, for her courage and determination to continue the work for peace and world brotherhood. This exhibition was organized by the National Center for Children's Illustrated Literature in Abilene, Texas. In this video, we'll hear from Ashley Bryan, who won the Coretta Scott King Award 8 times between 1980 and 2016 for his books, Beat the Story Drum, Pum Pum, I'm Going to Sing, Black American Spirituals, Volume 2, Lion and the Ostrich Chicks, What a Morning, The Christmas Story and Black Spirituals, Ashley Bryan's ABCs of African American Poetry, Beautiful Blackbird, Let It Shine, and Freedom Over Me, 11 Slaves, Their Lives, and Dreams Brought to Life.
My name is Ashley Bryan, and I will talk to you about my illustrations for Beautiful Blackbird. Now, if you know my books, you will find I have used many materials in the approach to the illustration, but I had not yet used collage, and I love collage, and I know children work often with collage, cutting and pasting colored papers. If you open to the first double-page spread in that book, a long, long time ago, the birds of Africa were all colors of the rainbow, clean, clear colors from head to tail. And then it goes on to say, when they all met, they asked, who is the most beautiful? Say, Blackbird is the only beautiful one, how very black he is. Now, the important thing for me, I grew up hearing so many stories of black being the lousy color. You come last, and that's all that's left. Well, when I came upon that motif from Zambia in southeastern Africa, I said, a story that celebrates black. I'm going to retell that. I have loved the work of the Black American poets, and they are at the basis of all that I do in my retelling of African folk tales. And so I had a chance to present the alphabet, introducing wonderful contributions of Black American poets, hoping that you would include them in your studies of poetry and of the contributions of Black American people as well. I'm going to talk about my work with African folk tales. In Beat the Story Drum, Pum Pum, I use tempera paints. The inspiration for the illustrations in this book came from African art, the African sculpture, the masks, the Bushman rock painting, and I use earth colors, very strong, red, yellow, black, white. And in that book, I wanted to get a feeling of the voice in retelling African folk tales. And so, how do you do that in a story that was never written down? It came from an oral tradition. I work from the bare bones of a story which was collected by scholars trying to get written alphabets and vocabularies of African languages. I am the author and illustrator of the slave document, Freedom Over Me. I chose one document from 1828 which listed 11 slaves for sale as property with the hogs, the cotton, and the cows at just the name and a price. Betty, $100. Stephen, $250. John, $300. I took just the name and a price. I created a portrait of the 11 slaves. I asked them to speak to me and tell me, who are you? Where do you come from? What is your background? Are you a cook, a carpenter, a seamstress? Then I asked each slave, what would your dream be if you were not a slave? I will now start a reading from Freedom Over Me of one of the slaves, and I've chosen the boy John, 16 years old at the time he is speaking. I'm reading John Dreams. I've learned about Africa from the slaves with whom I live. I've known hardship, seen cruel treatment, but I've heard slaves tell stories of Africa's rich cultures, stories of Dahomey, metal and clay sculptures, tribal ceremonial masks and carvings. These stories and the African songs the elders on the estate taught us awakened the artist in me.